Hello. Yesterday I completed till year. Yesterday, which means on last video, we have started how the Portuguese people are enter in India. Vasco da Gama, a person enter in India, and how they establish a rule, and they have establishes a rule in that much level. So the other ruler wants to take, it becomes compulsory from other ruler to take a license from Portuguese. Clear? In the early half of the 17th century, the five ships arrive. Okay, the Portuguese also prohibited this and wedding function. I completed till here. Clear? Now the British. Portuguese we had completed. The chapter we are studying in India, in our country, who who were the people, who were the country, they captured our country. Like Portuguese we have completed. Now we are moving toward the British. Okay, we are moving toward the Britisher. Clear? Obviously, this is very important for all of us to know that how and when this British people have invaded India. 31st December 1600. Like, and right now, nowadays, most of you are not aware about it. 31st December we are celebrating the New Year, but this was the time British enter in India. They established the company, East India Company, and Queen Elizabeth, the Queen of the England, granted permission to trade in the Eastern countries. She had given permission to the Britisher, like open the company there and do a business with them. So these people, this Britisher have establishes the East India Company 31st December 1600. And nowadays, whenever the 31st December came, we are doing enjoyment. This is not the right way. Now, in the beginning of the East India Company, operations were limited to send their cargoes to the eastern countries and to sell British goods in those countries. So, in the beginning of the East India Company, what they were doing, the Britisher they have a company in India, but actually on the starting what they were doing, they were just uh, they were just only limited to send the cargoes to the eastern countries to sell British goods in those countries and to buy uh, to buy spices with the profits earned there and the cash carried from home. And what they are doing, they are just simply sending the cargoes, uh, and in the cargoes they are selling some goods to them, and they are earning money and they are purchasing the spices. Their main motto is to earn a profit. So in the starting they are not doing that much torturing thing, exploitation thing. They are just came for doing a business, and British people are a good actor. Okay, and the sailboats of those days needed to plan their forward and backward wages. So the sailboats of those days, which means the boat which are they are traveling from England to India, at that time needed to plan their forward and backward voyages in specific periods of the year. So at that time there was a proper planning should be there, like for forward and backward. And nowadays if you see we have a complete technological ship, but at the time the ship were not proper, so they required a proper plan. Therefore, to carry out trade and transaction was more tedious. So therefore, to carry out trading, it was more tedious. Tedious means it was more difficult and more taking care. Under such circumstances, the Britisher were in need of a permanent place to build warehouse to store the goods and bought at low price. So because of this situation, so British had required one thing. British decided like we should require a one store warehouse so they can store all the goods at low price, because taking a goods from here and directly selling to England, it becomes very time consuming. So it is better, we can store at a warehouse, and we can store at warehouse. Okay, and uh, at a low price. The British boats used to sell from England. These British boats, they used to sail from England during the months of December. Okay, this British boats used to sail from England during the months of December to April, and used to return to England after a year in the month of January, after completing trading transaction in India. Okay, so it is a proper plan. So these British boats are sailing from England to India in the month of December to April, and they are returning back after a year in the month of Jan. Okay, they are coming in, they are arriving in India in between December to April, and they are going back after a year, January. Okay, and this required that they this required that they this required that they to stay in India over a period of 9 and 13 months. What it requires, this require, and because of this they are coming in India, and they are staying almost 9 to 13 months, and the company decided to build a factories over there. Okay, because in 1 year continuously they are spending time. So what they will do, so the company decided, we will build their factories, emporiums, a place where goods are bought, stored and sold. Okay, obviously, just imagine that at that time in 1600 they came in India. Who? The British came in India. They established their company. They are very smart. They, in the initial period, they started purchasing spices, and they, when they're doing a transaction from India to England, they decided like, we will open a warehouse, and they had already opened the warehouse also for storing the goods. And after that, they are spending more than a year. So they thinking that, British are thinking that, let's open the factory also. Okay, factory also in India. So the staff of the factories were called factors. So whichever people who are going to work in the factories, they are called as factors. In 1623, okay, in 1623, the British government under the civil and military law, okay, in 1623, the British government under the civil and military law, clear. In 1623, what happened, the British government under the civil and British law, sorry, the civil and military law, granted the company an authority of adopting punitive measures for airing staff. So in section 23, what happened, the British government and military law, they have granted them a one authority, like they can employ a staff. The company was also giving right to monopoly to trade in the eastern countries. This company was also given monopoly, like they can do a business on their own. Charles to the King of the England issue a charter, which means an agreement allowing the company to build forts in India, to maintain an army, and to make treaties with non-Christian. So like this the situation has happened. So the British were already opened their warehouse. They are initially period they are doing their business, and British people were also uh, started doing their business, and British people also opened their factories, and the whichever people work in the factories, they are called as factor, and the British already given permission to them. You can employ anyone from those countries, colonist countries, in their factory. And the Charles to the King of England, they had given permission. You can open forts also over there. You can have a connection with the non-Christian people. You can maintain an army. So Charles II had permitted them too much, and because of the Charles II, I think that the British people were thought the opportunity of controlling the country. Because just imagine that, if India people are going to any in a developed country, and they are building their own forts, and they are having their army. So what do you think that what the other people will think? Just imagine if you go in Sri Lanka, so we are opening our forts, Indian forts, and we have their Indian army. What they those people will think, and what our thinking will change. Definitely, what we will think, we will control them, right? So the same thing goes for the British people. Now, the latter half of the 17th century, which means after 1650, 1600 to 1650, those things will happen. Just now we have read, like they have started business, they have establishing their forts. Okay, and in the latter half of the 16th century, the company operated from Surat and Chennai, Madras. So in the latter half, from 1650 to 1700, the company has operated from Surat and Chennai. The east coast, the eastern coast means eastern part of India, Odisha, Bengal in India, and other eastern region were under the company jurisdiction. The factories at Rajapur in Maharashtra and port city of Mocha in the Red Sea, Barza in the Persian Gulf were controlled by the Surat Center. So basically, in the first half they have established their factories, and the second half they are administering these factories in the eastern part also, and in the Maharashtra also. They have their main center in like Surat and Madras. So the Surat part is controlling the Maharashtra part, Maharashtra ports, and this side, the Surat factory, the Surat factory staff was comprises of, in the Surat factory, who were the working accountant are working, in charge are working, treasuries are working. Treasuries means like focusing on the everything, material thing, money and all. Some factors, some factors and clerks were also there. In addition, there was a Christian priest, which means the father was also there in that company. The surgeon, doctor, assistants of cooks who will make a cook, they were chef were also there. The company president, and personal servants and trumpet blower. Clear? So entertainment for a doctor, cook, and everything in factory, Surat factory was there. Now, the British citizens were also appointed in the factories as apprenticeship. So the British and the apprenticeship people also working there. Apprenticeship means people who are in the training period. So British apprentices were also there, clerks and factor. Everybody, right from the president to apprenticeship, they live in a factory premises. Okay, in Surat, everyone from president to apprenticeship people like boy or students, they are live in the factory premises, and all were provided food by the company mess. They are also getting the food also, which means all the suvidha these factory people are getting. Okay, and they were permitted to trade. They were they were permitted to trade commodities except those which were banned by the company. Okay, so all in Surat, as I said you, like after 1750, the Surat and Madras become the main center, and the whichever in country whichever area in country whichever area this British have the factories, and they are operated by from Surat and Madras. And in Surat factories, there were most of the staffs are living, from president to apprenticeship, all are living and in the premises of this, and they are getting smash also, food also. And these people are doing a trading those commodities, except those commodities which are banned by the company, such as the textiles are banned, indigo was banned. Okay, indigo, wood, lead, corals, ivory, etc. Okay, indigo, the company started building forts in India. And this company are started, which company? The British company. They started building the forts in India. That's why you can see in Mumbai there are so many forts are there. Okay, and it's a part of their strategy. They build fort and the factory. They built fort in the factory in Chennai also. In south side they had built. The fort was named the Fort Saint George. A mint, and they have established the fort also. They have started having their own coins. The British issue their own coinage of gold, silver, and alloy and copper from this mint. They are building the forts also. In south there is a Saint George fort is there, and they are started building their mine. Okay, minting means coins. Okay, now the in 1661. Okay, in 1661 the Charles II, the King of England. In 1661, what happened? There was a Charles II, the King of England, was engaged to Braganza. Okay, so the King of England was engaged to Braganza. What it means? It means that a King of England, Charles II, he was engaged. Engaged means everyone know before marriage, the couples are engaged. So he engaged with the Braganza, and she is a princess of Portugal. Okay, and Portuguese also capture the India. So the king of Portugal gifted the island of Mumbai to Charles II. So in during engage, so this British the king, the British king Charles II is engaged with the princess princess of Portugal. So the king of Portuguese given the gift in like which means the father of the princess which means the Sasur of the father-in-law of Charles II given him the Mumbai only, the whole Mumbai. Like right now I am from Mumbai, so I am also imagining that this Mumbai has become the object for them and they are giving the gift. Okay, and Charles II on this occasion, okay, and Abram Shipman, Abram Shipman, an Englishman, was assigned. So Abram Shipman is an Englishman, was assigned 500 soldier and was appointed as a governor of Bombay. So Charles II had decided like 500 soldier appointed and and at Mumbai, and he was become the governor of Bombay also. Okay, so Shipman has appointed the 500 soldier in Mumbai for the security. Okay, for safety and security. Clear? And then in 1665, in 1665 the Mumbai was fully under the control, under the British control. Okay, so if I talk about, obviously our this city are gifted by this ruler people, and this were under the control was British. Okay, and Mumbai comprises of how many islands? Mumbai is comprises of total 7 islands. How many? Total 7 islands. Okay, namely the Mumbai, Mahim, Parel, Vadala, and Worli, and Jeev, and Moscow. So these were the 7 islands Mumbai comprises of, and Charles II had leased Mumbai to the East India Company because the expenditure for its maintenance exceeded than in income and earned from it. So Charles II given this Mumbai to the East India Company because the Charles II thought like this land is in, like because of this he is in loss, so he wants to profit. The expense of the Mumbai is more, so he wants to profit. So the Charles II has given rented the British East India Company. Okay, and in 1669 the company appointed the officer Oxenden as a governor of Surat and commander chief of Mumbai. So he was become the commander chief in Mumbai, and he was a governor of Surat also. A British mint was established. Obviously, the coin was established in Mumbai. Coins of silver, copper, zinc were used from there, and encouraged the merchants. This encouraged the merchant and artisan to come and settle down in Mumbai. Okay, the company had and company in five to six ships, around 300 soldiers. This in Mumbai, they have 5 to 6 ships, and they have 300 soldiers for security of Mumbai. The soldiers were given grants and these soldiers were given the guns and swords. Okay, guns and swords. Clear? So we have understood about the British, how the Britishers came. The British has entered in India first. They have established their forts, company, and they had granted permission, and they have administered. They have started operating themselves, and they have and the Mumbai is gifted by father-in-law of Portuguese king. Okay, so like this, the British people have came in India, and they have started ruling in India. Okay, we will see more and more about the Britisher, but this much we need to know now. Okay, so I am stopping here. The Dutch and the French we will start tomorrow in the next video.